Okay, Dean Gloria Meredith has been kind enough to offer us an interview about the pharmacy school and more broadly the health sciences campus. And so we're beginning with the question of what are your short and long-term goals for the pharmacy school?
Well, our mission, and I guess part of our vision, is to turn out graduates that will play an important role both locally and globally in patient-centered healthcare. And so some of our long-term goals are really to establish a very high-quality pharmacy school of pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences. It's a research-intensive school. Hire high-quality faculty and retain that faculty, and bring in the brightest students that we can and prepare them for the modern healthcare world, which is really team-based healthcare. And the pharmacist is a member of that team just as much as anyone else on the healthcare team. So those are some of the long-term goals. But in addition to that, one of the goals is to help rebuild Johnson City. It's exciting to have a brand new building put here, particularly on this site from an old factory that was here and employed so many people a long time ago. It's nice to be able to move into this building and bring a number of people who now work here. I believe we must have 150 people working in this building already, and we just moved in last July. So these people eat locally, they shop locally, some of them are living locally. So I think that's a real plus for Johnson City. Short-term goals really involve getting our final accreditation steps. That takes about 5 years for pharmacy. And really ensuring that everything's in place, that we've hired enough faculty and have a really good student-faculty ratio. Our ratio should be about 10 to 1 when we have finished all of our hiring. So things just to make the school run smoothly. And we look towards accreditation in 2021. And by 2022, I want to be ranked nationally.
All right. Okay, since becoming dean, what relationships have you developed with the community that benefit the students and the school, pharmacy school?
Well, in addition to strong relationships with the health systems here and the community pharmacies, there are independent pharmacies in our area. We have a very good relationship with UHS, Wilson Hospital, of course, across the street. Lourdes is just a little over a mile from us, and so we have a strong relationship with them as well. And we've developed a good relationship with some other health systems that are a little bit further away, such as Cayuga Med, for Guthrie and Sayre, Pennsylvania. And then we have a strong relationship with Upstate Medical University Hospital and SUNY Upstate Medical University as well. In fact, we do a lot of interprofessional work with some of the professions that they are training in Syracuse. So these are some of the strong healthcare relationships. In addition to that, we have a very good relationship with the Sarah Jane Johnson Church close by. We have done a number of things for them, with them, health fairs, education for some of the people that come to their big dinner that they throw, I believe it's weekly. We have a good relationship with the American Red Cross, the Office of the Aging, the Department of Health. And in fact, some of these offices are actually providing some funding for some of the projects that we're doing in this area.
I'm glad to hear you say about Sarah Jane Johnson, because I've interviewed over there, and they actually attract between 80 and 180 people for that meal.
They do a wonderful job, and it has been such a treat for our students to go there and interact with some of those people who are elderly or very poor,
yes.
Some of them homeless.
Yeah.
And our students just do wonderful things from an education standpoint. They're there to help with immunizations during flu season. They're there to teach them about vitamins and about other medications that they're taking. So we have a very good relationship, and I'm very pleased that they're so close by. It's just a natural for a pharmacy school.
It seems like many of the stakeholders locally look to the pharmacy school and more broadly the health sciences campus as being the heart of revitalization. In other words, they're sort of depending on us to do something. What do you think the likely short-term and long-term impacts will be?
I think we're already seeing the short-term impacts. Some of the blight is going away. Binghamton University has purchased a few properties that really were already condemned. So to have them removed and maybe replacing with some green space, we have about 8 to 12 acres, I believe, to build the health science campus. And we're very excited about the nursing school being able to renovate one of the original EJ buildings and keep it the way it was, and yet give it that modern flair. So nursing school should be moving in 2020. We're building another building next door to us, a research and development building. So this brings more people to the area, more people who will utilize the shops and restaurants. There's at least one new restaurant. There is another sandwich shop, I believe, coming on Main Street. And we're starting to see some of the short-term changes on Main Street. I'd like it to go back to being the old village of Johnson City. I think, in some ways it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's a wonderful term, the village of Johnson City. And I think the residents here really want to see that revitalized. And we want to do everything we can for our neighbors. So the long-term impact, I don't know how long it will take, but I do expect to see buildings renovated. And I do expect to find housing for the poor as well as for those that work in this area. So I believe that our impact will be very positive on the community. And it's wonderful to have a health sciences campus. I think Binghamton has needed that for quite some time. It's one of the largest SUNY institutions, and it's one of the 4 research intensive institutions. You should have a health science campus.
I was smiling too about you commenting on the heritage, because a lot of local people think heritage is really important. So keeping the old factory, the box factory, and these, as we look out the window, those are part of it, but there are others that can be kept as well.
Yes, there are. Close by, there is one building that has a historical meaning, and we're negotiating, I believe, at the moment, and we will restore it. Binghamton University will certainly restore it. It's not going to take down anything that has historical significance. So
good. Have you heard any feedback from your students? I know it's relatively new, but in terms of the village, Main Street, this area to Main Street, in terms of good or bad impressions?
I'm afraid the impressions haven't been as good as I would like. We do have comments from students and potential students that, some of the neighborhoods boarded up and that sort of thing. But once we talk to them about the future, that they start to be able to envision how changes could happen. And particularly with the university really putting its footprint down in Johnson City, I think the students start to see, gee, this could look very nice. And we have very recently taken down several buildings across the street, and the Firehouse Stage has taken down 2 homes. And there's going to be green space very, very soon. And I'm already getting positive comments about that. Wow, well, if you can take those down, why don't you take down those others right behind it? But so they have been disappointing comments from the students, but it's what you would expect. Johnson City needs quite a bit of work to really revitalize it.
One comment I'll make too is the misconception of the university taking houses down, taking population out. as you pointed out earlier,
No.
I think it's worth
They're
reiterating.
abandoned,
They were abandoned, they
and
were in terrible
condemned.
shape, yes.
Yeah, they're
so-
condemned. Nobody
Yeah.
is allowed to even set foot in them, so.
And the
no,
same was true
university-
of the firehouse.
Yes,
The
yes.
buildings they brought down were in terrible shape.
Oh, they were
so-
in terrible shape.
yeah.
Nobody lived in them. No, they were all boarded up. So, no, I think it's important. You still have to remove blight. You can revitalize a lot. You can build new. You can renovate. But some things are just so blighted, some buildings, that they probably need to come down to make space for trees and parks and
Yes.
other things. So I think in the long run, as long as this is a really strong partnership, and I believe it's a very strong partnership with the Village of Johnson City, with the mayor, with even the county officials, the partnership is very strong to revitalize, not to destroy and knock down. I think it's going to be an important effort on behalf of, on the part of the university to really stay with that goal. And the partnership makes a big difference.
I want to reiterate something you said earlier because it's important to what you just said, and that is at the same time, we don't want to drive poor people out.
No,
We have to find
absolutely
room
not.
for them in affordable housing, and that's part
We
of the challenge as well.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, but I want to give you an opportunity. If there's something I didn't ask or something that you would like to comment on, please feel free.
Well, I could brag a little more about
Please.
our successes so far. We've only have 2 classes in. It's a 4-year program that leads to a doctor of pharmacy. Our numbers of applications from students is rising each year. We have been able to attract some very high quality students. We still have 2 more years to go to fill the school, and I have to say that everybody on the team, all of the faculty, all of the staff are working very hard to create a unique program that's not only innovative but really hits the mark of modern healthcare. We are working closely with the nursing school, social work, and with the medical school up in Syracuse. Some of the medical students are here with an interprofessional education. So there's a number of exercises the students do together where they learn how to work on a healthcare team. And I'm very proud of that, actually. And considering that we've only been going at this for a couple of years, I think I can say that the team that's come together here is absolutely fantastic. And if anybody's going to carry it out, they are.
Well, Dean Meredith, thank you very much for your insights and your comments. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.